What's cracking, folks? Welcome to episode 138 of the Spun Today Podcast, the podcast that is anchored in writing but unlimited in scope. I'm your host, Tony Ortiz, and I appreciate you listening. I have a treat for you in this episode. It was definitely a treat for me. It was, no lie for me, my favorite Spun Today podcast to date. So I'm sure you folks will appreciate it as well. My boy Abi joins us, Abismael Gonzalez, and he is a veteran of the United States Army. I've been wanting to have him on for some time, and we finally made the time to sit down. And I feel like we did an Ari Shaffir, Skeptic Tank-esque type of show. If anybody that listens to this show has heard Skeptic Tank, Ari Shaffir's podcast, what he normally does is that he takes a deep dive into a specific subject with the guests that he has on. So this episode is my version of that, but with taking a deep dive into Abi's experiences within the Army. And we go through things like what made him initially want to join the Army, which was a funny story on how he wound up in the Army versus the Marines. And we speak about his first time getting to basic training and seeing a couple of drill sergeants approach the bus that he and his fellow privates were on. And we speak about all those nascent moments in his Army career to his first deployment to Afghanistan. Mind you, he joined the Army in August of 2001, pre 9/11, before any of us had the slightest idea of how the events of 9/11 would obviously shape and change the world. And he was deployed to Afghanistan for 12 months, a full year, before returning home, when then he was deployed to Iraq for 15 months, over a year. We get into the nitty-gritty of things like, where do you take a shit when you're in Afghanistan in the middle of the desert? Spoiler alert, there's no toilets. There's no indoor plumbing set up in a war zone. And we cover things like gunfights and shootouts and the unfortunate ramifications of casualties of war and a bunch of other shit, folks. This is definitely a dope episode. You're all going to definitely enjoy it, and I hope you are as fascinated as I was when recording it when you guys listen. Again, Abi, thank you very much for doing this episode. And above all else, thank you very much for your service. And without further ado, we're going to jump right into the episode. But first, a very quick way that you fine folks can help support the Spun Today podcast if you so choose. You know that feeling that you get on a Monday when you're sad because the weekend is over and you have nothing to look forward to except for lunch? Have no fear, the Midday Monday Boost Letter is here. And you might be thinking, what is the Midday Monday Boost Letter? Sounds like a mouthful. And it is, but it's also more than that. I put together this absolutely free newsletter that I email to all my subscribers every Monday at noon to spread a little joy and happiness. If you choose to subscribe, all you have to do is go to spuntoday.com/subscribe and drop in your email address. And what you'll get is 5 things. You'll get a photo of the week, which who doesn't like looking at dope pictures? You'll also get a podcast of the week. I listen to dozens and dozens of podcasts every single week from a wide variety of shows, and I cherry pick the very best ones and share them with you as my recommendation for that week. Also in the Midday Monday Boost Letter, you will find a video of the week, which could be anything from a cool online recipe that I found, to a rap battle, to a TED Talk, or a dope interview. I also share a quote of the week, a little food for thought, as well as a word of the week for my fellow wordsmiths out there. Again, this is all absolutely free, and you can get my newsletter by going to spuntoday.com/subscribe, drop in your email address, and you will get the very next one. Hello, Billy. We are recording. All right. So, Abismael Gonzalez.
Hello, how you doing?
Chilling.
It's been about, what, 12 years now? 16 years in the making? You've been asking me?
Yeah, finally. Finally got some, a little opening to slide in.
Yeah. Slide up in the DMs.
All right, Abby, so you know what I was thinking about, actually? When I met you through Steven, obviously, and it was... I remember specifically because I like saw you I think like a few times, like hi bye type shit, like growing up, and then but there was like one, I don't know if you remember, it was like one summer, or I don't even know if it was summer, but it was hot out, that we actually like bonded and we became cool, which was when we went to Six Flags. I don't know if you remember that.
It was raining like crazy.
I don't remember it raining. I just remember it was whenever the Linkin Park CD came out. Crawling was like mad popular. And we like bonded on that. And I was like, oh shit, somebody else likes this beside me. I'm not weird.
yes.
And I always remember that. I don't know why. But I was thinking about that the other day.
That's crazy. That was that the summer?
That was before the army, I think.
Yeah, that obviously, yeah. But was that like the summer that I was leaving, or was that the year before? Because I remember I used to go all the time with Ashrin and Steven.
I think it was the year before. Because I remember you, me, Steven, Elaine.
Was Doris there?
Maybe.
Yeah, I think I know.
Maybe. I don't remember, though. But I don't remember who else was there besides those four. But there was more people, though, because it was like a bigger
Peter
group.
And Pito. Pito was like about 5
Maybe
foot.
Pito. Yeah, I think so.
Yes. That was the day of a thunderstorm. I remember that day. We won like humongous M&M peluches.
I think so.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. That's crazy, though. So... Thank you for being on, first of all.
No, thank you for having me.
And for those that don't know, Avi is cousins with my best friend, Steven, who's been on the podcast a couple of times in the past. And he is also a veteran of the United States Army. Right? Is that the right terminology? Or still?
Yes. But more fitting, I am the reigning defending fantasy football champion of our league. Can you please?
That is true.
Let's get to the meat and potatoes of things.
I'm on a good run, actually. The last, 2 weeks, which I don't know if that's considered a run.
You beat me last week because 5 of my players died. They literally died in the middle, though.
It was perfect timing for me. I was literally in last place. You were in first place. And that win for me and loss for you, bumped me up. Normally, if you win a game or something, you might get bumped up from 12th place to 11th or something. But since I beat the first place person, I got bumped up to 7th.
Well, as long as I'm making everybody around me better, that's fine. That's my life motto.
Yeah, man. But yeah, I'm very interested in Army stuff. And I gotta get Steven on. We always say that we're gonna do it, and
you haven't got him on it.
Not to speak about Army shit. So, and I don't want to push either. You know what I mean? Because I know that's that could be a touchy subject for some people. Some things people don't want to speak about. But it's still fascinating to me, and definitely I'm sure to some of the listeners that are gonna eventually hear this. I don't know. I just want to know what your experience was like. Anything that you want to get into that you can't get into. And just see your perspective on shit from basic training, or even before then, the why you decided to join up in the first place, and how was literally the first day when you walk in. Is it Forrest Gump when he's the guy's in his face you maggot, you piece of shit, all that stuff that we see in movies.
It's funny because my job literally asked me to be thing because November 11th is the upcoming Veterans Day, and they asked some of the veterans to give a blog and stuff like that, and not a blog, but they gave me a questionnaire and they're gonna put it in their blog and the media stuff. It's funny. I literally turned it in. They gave me an 11 questionnaire, and I filled it out today, and I found some pictures there that I found stuff from me overseas, and I sent it out today actually. So. It's funny that we actually got to do this today.
Yo, so. if you have those pictures that you don't mind, send them to me also, and I'll put them on the website for this specific episode.
All right.
So people could follow along at spuntoday.com/podcast/138. I think this is episode 138 when it comes out.
Damn, man, you took 137 episodes before me. Wow.
Yeah. 138 is the charm.
I don't know. Like you have to ask me questions, and then I would respond to it.
All right. So first off, tell me why you decided to join up in the first place. Was it? I mean, I know, like joining the army when people join the army, it's usually in high school, junior, senior year, like around that like time frame when we're still kind of like kids growing, about to transition to quote unquote being adults. People are trying to figure out going into college or joining like the services like you did, or starting jobs, and it's like a transitional period in our lives, and we're also young and not familiar, not like we don't know how to deal with shit. You know what I mean? Really?
Yeah.
It's like, what made you decide to join?
So no bullshit, right? This is off the record.
Yeah.
No, be honest. So it was my senior year. I had just graduated high school. I was currently working.
Which high school?
Harry Van Arsdale in Brooklyn. It's no longer there. I was always on.
It's not there anymore?
It's now like 4 different schools. When I went there, it was on probation. Like we didn't have like school safety. We had NYPD cops. It was a really bad school.
Damn. It was like Lane. They did that in Lane, actually, Franklin K. Lane, that they split it up into like 4 schools. That's probably why.
Yeah, it's weird. It's crazy. So I just finished graduating high school.
Is that where you went with Jessica, my cousin Jessica? Is that the same school?
It's in the north side. I don't know. Jessica? No, probably not. I had just finished graduating. It's the summer. And I was working for Pathmark in the frozen department.
I remember that. And Steven was like cajera.
Yeah, he was the only male cajera. Out of 25 lanes, he was the only male cajera. I'm glad you remember that.
Wow, I completely forgot about that. I completely forgot about that until you just mentioned it.
So I actually got promoted to be a manager in the frozen department. And my friends, they called me. They're like, yo,
how long were you working there at that point?
When you got promoted? Say like a year and a half. I started off as a cart guy. So I was like the crazy kid pulling all the carts in the parking lot. Yeah. And then they saw how good of a worker I was, a hard worker, and they put me in the frozen department, in the produce department, and then they put me in the frozen department, and then they promoted me to a manager there. But I didn't really like it, obviously. Mm-hmm. That was not my calling. So one day, it's the summer. My best friends when I was growing up through high school, they called me up and they're like, yo, let's play softball. I was like, nah, I gotta go to work. They're like, don't go. I was like, you know what? I hate my job. So yes, I will quit my job today to play softball. I was basically looking for any little excuse to just play softball. And we played softball. It was great. I won. But then the next morning, I was like, oh my God, shit, I have no fucking job.
Did you call and quit, or you just didn't show up?
Yeah, I just called and quit. I hate quitting. I've never quitted anything in my life. But I knew that wasn't for me. Like, I'm 17, 18 years old. I'm like, this is not me.
Yeah.
And Steven came downstairs one time because he was living upstairs. And he was like, yo, I just talked to a recruiter, an army recruiter. And I think I'm going to go to the army. I'm like, Steven, you're a pretty boy. You're like 4'3". You're chubby. Stop, man. You're not going anywhere. I was like, you know what, man?
You like Hawaiian shirts.
Exactly. Come on. I said, you know what? Call that guy back. Because growing up, I used to always love wars and social studies and all this stuff, history.
Like you were like fascinated with like stories about it and stuff?
Fascinated. Like I feel like I was born in a different era. Like I feel like I was reincarnated from like the warrior days, like 300, or Braveheart. Like that was just me. Like I was.
You like drawn to that?
Drawn to it from since I was like a little baby. So I was like, you know what? I'm not doing anything. I just quit my job. I'm unemployed, and I'm gonna go to the army. Another reason was because my mother, God rest her soul, she was a single parent.
Rest in peace, Margie.
Yeah, man. She was a single parent. Had 2 boys. Never took any government help and stuff like that. And she had 2 houses under her name at the time. And I tried to go for financial aid. And they were willing to give me a whopping $500 a year.
Wow. A year. Not even a semester.
Yeah, you heard correctly. It was 1 year. $500. My mother had busted her ass.
Which in college you could probably like buy like 2 books with
Exactly,
that.
used.
Yeah, to use the textbooks.
Yeah, I got accepted to like Kingsborough and Queens College, and I was like,
I went to Kingsborough actually for I think I spent like almost 2 years there. But before I finished the 2 years, I transferred to Baruch to the four-year school.
Nice. That's where my cousin went to. So I was like, my mother busted her ass for so many years, growing up in Brooklyn with 2 boys by herself. You know, with her brothers and sisters. You know, because it takes a village to raise kids and stuff like
absolutely.
that.
Especially your family's like mad deep. It's like super big. Everybody's
Family's all you got,
like
my
brother
man.
and sister. Yeah.
We're very close.
That's why I've always liked that about your family. Like all the like cousins and stuff seem like really, really close. Like brother and sister close. You know what I mean?
Yes. Everybody they used to like take it like just choose like, oh, this weekend we're gonna go to Nana's house in Washington Heights. The next week is gonna be in Ana Maria's house in Queens, or in my mother's house and stuff like that. So like every time, like we thank God we grew up really close, and to this day, you know, the cousins are really close and stuff like that. Unfortunately, some of us are passing away, but I mean that's life.
That's life, man.
Yep. So I decided, I was like, I'm not gonna put that burden on my mother. My mother was like, absolutely not. You're not going to the army. No, I will work another job, whatever, blah blah blah, to put this ends meet. And the funny thing was that every time I used to behave bad, mommy was like, I'm gonna call you the army and I'm gonna send you to military school.
Yeah.
And then day comes, she's like, nah.
And you're like, okay, I wanna go. Like, no, I was kidding.
Bullshit. I swear to God. So it happened just like that. Steven called him back. And he was like, yo, I got a cousin. And at the time, Steven couldn't join because he was so young. So he was like, basically did like a commitment. He was like, once I graduate next year, I'll join. But when
I remember that because he was Steven was a junior when he started like wanting to join and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I remember telling me something like, since he like forwarded you, when he does go in, he'll like get something.
yeah, he
or
got
something.
promoted. He was like an E2.
So he was already like hustling from junior year, like selling army signatures. But I remember that before Steven joined, like he actually got like focused with. We used to like order Domino's like all the time and watch movies and stuff in my basement, me, him, and my brother. And when he joined the army, like we still used to do that, me and my brother. And then he used to be like, "Fuck, man, I can't eat that stuff." And then he used to go to like Victory Field to like run, and he actually like started getting like focused and dedicated. And I always thought that was dope.
Yeah, man. Like as soon as Steven called him, and he was like, "What? He's of age? All right, let's go take him a test. And let's get him to take the ASVAB." We went to Brooklyn. We went to Fort Hamilton.
What is that? As what?
It's an entry test. Basically,
Like
it's
written
about,
test or like physical? Oh, okay.
A written test to give you basically you're not dumb and stuff. It's mostly like reading comprehension, English, math, and engineering. Like obviously, I failed that. Fortunately, I scored really high, and it's funny because that when we're in Fort Hamilton, they have all the branches there. So they have the Navy, they have the Marines, Air Force.
And where is that, Fort Hamilton?
It's in right underneath the Verrazano Bridge.
Oh,
You pass by it almost every. If you ever go that way.
oh, in Brooklyn?
Yeah.
Like by the belt? Okay.
And we're there. We take the test, and as we're waiting for our results, me and Steven went.
You get it the same day, the results?
Yeah. To see where you actually enter it.
Ah, okay.
And
Like which like job when you get into the army, or like what like level like?
I might get confused, but I know when you go there, they tell you, all right, which branch you want to be into, and I was like
Army, Marines,
I was
Navy.
like, I want Marines, man. I want Marines. That's where you grow up. You see the commercials, the crowd, and there was this female sergeant from the army. She took a liking to me. And
she dropped a pencil in front of you, picked it up. I was like,
she literally followed me the whole tour. She's like, you don't want to do that. No, you don't want to do that. I was like, nah, why not? She's like, I want to kick indoors.
Yeah.
Oh, the Marines is for you. So I go to, and she's like, no, but at least give it a try for the army. So I go to the army guy, recruiter first, because she was in the army. All I know now, probably she was in the.
She was a paid actress. Exactly. Like when she probably has both uniforms in the back. When there's too many people on the army side, go wear a Marines uniform, and then
it's clicking now. The lights are coming on. And he looked at my ASVAB score. So yes, that's what I knew. We took the ASVAB first, and then you can choose what branch, and then depending on your score, you can pick what jobs within that branch that you can qualify for.
Gotcha. Okay.
So the recruiter there for the Army, he's like, "Oh my God, you scored really, really high, man. What do you want to do, man? You could be whatever you want to do, whatever." I was like, "I want to kick indoors. I want to be SWAT." He was like, "Oh, you want to be infantry?" I was like, "I have no idea what infantry meant at the time."
You just know SWAT like from cop movies and like stuff like that, right?
I was like, "I want to shoot and I want to kick indoors and I want to kill things." And she's like, "No, you don't want to do that. You want to be supply like me." I was like, "What the hell is supply? It sounds gay as hell."
Yeah.
And that sounds like not fun at all. He's like, "Oh, you deliver the beans and bullets and blah, blah." Like, nah, absolutely not.
Like, man, the delivery boys for the guys that really really doing the work.
You deliver the goods to the infantry. It's like, all right, nah. So I want infantry. They're like, "Look, I'm like, but I really want the Marines, man." He's like, "Look, man, if you join the infantry right now, mind you, this is August 1st, 2001.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, we're willing to give you $20,000 cash and $30,000 for school." I was like,
when? Like after?
You get like $10,000 as soon as you graduate boot camp and you go to your base, and then every year, every agreement, you get like $5,000 until you make the 20.
Okay.
And then the 30 is automatic for college.
Like after you get out.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I was like, "Damn, man, but I really want to go to the Marines." I was like, "All right, man, go." And I respect that, whatever. The contract is still here. So I go to the Marines side. He looks at my score. "Oh, you a smart boy." Stuff. I'm like, "Yeah, so how much are you guys willing to give me?" He's like, "Nah, this is a dedication. You serve here. Like, this is your... We don't give bonuses."
This is a volunteer thing. Like,
it's an honor to be like,
all right, go back.
Man,
I'll be back.
I'm going to come back over here right quick. And that's how I ended up in the infantry in the Army.
Damn, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty dope. Now, how soon after... So, you signed the contract right then and there?
August 1st, yes.
So, you signed it, that's it, you're part of the Army?
Not really. So, the 30th was the day that they actually picked me up from my house. August 30th, they picked me up from my house.
But what did they tell you that day? Like, sign on the dotted line, boom, and then what? Like
on the 30th, we're going to pick you up. I'm going to send you to Atlanta, Georgia, go to boot camp, and rock and roll.
Damn. Mm-hmm. And what did they tell you, like words of advice to do?
Left right there. And I was like, wait, let me give... I never warned my brother. I never warned my mother. Nobody knew what the hell was going on. I did that in a spit. Like, my brother will still tell you to this day, he's like, Abby never even consulted me about this.
Damn.
I literally called them.
Because you know they would try to like hold you back. No.
And so I was like, no. I want to go like in the end of the month. You know, get 4 weeks off and, you know, and like break it down to my mom and stuff like that. So, yeah.
And they said it was cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's nuts. So tell me, so you went over there with Steven, just you two?
For Hamilton?
No, to take the test and stuff like that.
Yes, we went together.
So on the way back, what you guys do?
Oh, so it was hilarious. It's me and Steven and the recruiter. He's driving us back, and he's like, "Wow, man, you guys got some high scores, man." And Steven, what job did you pick? He's like, "I pick artillery." He's like, "Oh, man, that's awesome, man. You're going to be shooting rockets and all that stuff. It's great, man. It's like explosions and all that stuff." Abby, what did you get? I was like, "Infantry." He's like, "Oh. I mean, that's cool, I guess."
At that point, you had like an oh shit moment, like, oh fuck, did I fuck up?
But, I mean, I'd never regretted that infantry is either your infantry or not. I mean, like, the last time I saw an Army movie, they never did anything about supply or anything.
Yeah.
Everything is infantry, so, nah.
That is true. It's all like the front line.
Exactly. It's like, really, do you want to go to the military and be like, "Yeah, I was in the Army band. I played the shit out that flute."
Yeah.
You know, if you're going to do it, man, you go in or go hard, you know, don't do nothing at all, man. I mean, respect to the people, you know, they do need to deliver us some bullets.
True. It takes a village in the Army too, right? But so after the recruiter dropped you guys off at home?
Yes.
And then what? Like tell me about like telling Vicente, telling your mom.
All right, so I told my mom's, and she didn't believe me. Did not believe me.
How'd you tell her? Do you remember?
I was like, "Mommy," I showed her the pamphlets. I'm like, "Mommy, I'm gonna be in New York. I'm going to the Army." She was like, "Whatever, man. You're not going nowhere." I'm like, "Mommy, I'm serious." She's like, "Don't be lying to me."
Damn.
I'm like, Mom, but isn't that what you want? I'm like, she's like, I would have done everything to pay for your college and all this stuff. And why do you do this to me? You're gonna leave me alone, and it's crazy. I'm like, Mommy, I'm gonna do 4 years. I'm gonna pay for my own college. I'm gonna get to see the world, which is bullshit because I was in New York, which is 7 hours away. I didn't know it was like the tip of New York. I never knew New York was that big.
Watertown?
Yeah, Watertown, New York, in Fort Drum, and I'm like, Mom, I'm going to do 4 years. Like, the last war we had was like 11 days old. I mean, 11 days, like, it's to go for. Nobody saw anything. Nothing's going to happen.
And the next day, 9/11. Like, oh, shit.
That's exactly how it went, man. Like, I got to... Well,
but before that, though, so after you told your mom, she finally, like, got it or whatever?
When she saw the recruiter come to my house.
On the 30th?
She bawled.
Oh, fuck.
She bawled.
What did we send her to say, though, before you left? Like when you told him the first time?
He thought I was bullshitting. He was like, nah, stop playing, man. Fuck out of here. That's funny. Whatever. And he was like, you sure you want to do this? Why'd you do it? I'm like, I don't know. I like wars and I like to fight. I don't know. I want to do something. And he was like, he's always been supportive about me.
Yeah.
Like, I could be like, yo, I'm going to fucking do whatever and just fucking be like, all right, man. All right, I support you.
Hit me up if anything.
Exactly. Yeah, you know, I'm going to get married at the age of 19 with my high school sweetheart. Yeah, go ahead. It's fine. What's going to happen?
That always works out.
So, yeah, he's always been supportive and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, once my mom saw the recorder and she saw that shit was real, she bawled.
How'd you feel? Like, the night before. Do you remember the night before the recruiter picked you up?
Oh, man. So, the night before they take us to this hotel, it used to be called the Staten Island Hotel, right, in the Staten Island.
So, yeah, the night before, you're ready to leave your house. You say bye to everybody.
So, my flight was on the 30th. So, they really picked me up on the 29th.
Okay.
On the 30th, they picked us up. No, that 29th, they picked us up. They took us to Staten Island Hotel. And a bunch of us are there, like a bunch of recruits and stuff like that. And we're bugging out in the hotel. Everything's paid for. And then the next morning is like the last meal, man, like in death row. Like, if I can picture death row, it would have been like that. Yo, nobody's talking in breakfast. You can actually hear the
silverware.
Exactly.
Clinking.
Everybody's wearing their army recruiting shirts on. I was like, oh, God.
Is that those green shirts that say Army on it?
Yeah. Nice. At that time, it was like a cool ass badass shirt, black, and fucking had like a ranger guy in the front with camo paint in his thing and stuff like that. And it was very shocking. It was like, oh shit, what the fuck?
Like how many people were there?
I would say like about 25 guys.
Did you know anybody?
Absolutely.
Okay.
No. Once we got to the airport, that's when they were like, all right, if you're going to go to Fort Benning, that means you're infantry. Most of the guys, that's the infantry schoolhouse. You're going to be in this flight, and then everybody else is going to go to Oklahoma or whatever, Fort Sill, depending on what type of job they got. So that's when you start meeting your friends and stuff, like, you know, getting to know people.
Yeah.
It's when you're like, oh, shit, you chose infantry? Why? Dumbass. But actually, that was the last time I actually ever saw those guys. I never seen them ever again.
But weren't you guys in the same fort? In the same?
We were in Fort Benning. Yeah, but we were in different, like, you never got to see them again. It was like
that big? Like that compartmentalized everybody?
Yeah.
Where's Fort Benning? In Georgia?
Mm-hmm.
And that's basic training, right?
Yeah, it's basic training for the infantry schoolhouse.
When you fly over there, is it like regular commercial flights? Or is it like Army plane or something?
No, regular commercial flights. You land in Atlanta. Then I remember we got there at like 1 o'clock in the morning. And then there's some humongous white buses, look like yellow school buses, but painted white. They picked us up. And it's like 2 o'clock in the morning. We actually get to the actual boot camp. Everybody's sleeping, and I'm just like, I'm nervous. And
Does it look like in the movies, like you see people outside jogging and drizzling?
At 2 in the morning, no. Okay. It was like a ghost town.
Like a ghost town.
And I saw these 2 drill sergeants with the hats, just like in TV, and they're walking out to us. I'm like, for some reason, when I get nervous, I just laugh like crazy. Like everything is a joke to me.
Yeah.
I don't mean it to be like an asshole stuff. It's just like that's what I do. I laugh.
Everybody has their own like reaction to shit like that.
And I'm laughing my ass off. I'm like, oh my god, look at it. It's like in TV. And no shit, they come into the bus and like, everybody get the fuck out. Put your bags out. And they get all on us and they just do a lot of exercises, which we call smoking.
Right then and there?
Yeah, outside of the bus. Right, you get out of the bus, you got to pick up your luggage, put it over your head, and do that for about 2 hours.
What?
Yeah, and then you go to your bed, and then they do the same thing in about 3 hours later. That's when they cut your hair, and they give you all your equipment.
What? Good night, Zadie.
And yeah.
So when the first time when they get on the bus, they start like flipping out on you guys. Like,
Yes.
what are your immediate thoughts, your immediate reactions? Like, oh shit, I fucked up.
Cool.
Or really?
Yeah.
Damn.
This is fucking cool. And I have a smile on my face. I'm like, oh shit, this is good.
This is what I signed up for. This is what I expected. This is what I wanted.
Yes.
Nice.
And then just like I said, I didn't find anything hard, but it was it made me the person I am. Like it gave me all the discipline that I needed, and
The discipline, the structure, the like framework that you like have in life now. Like you're always gonna keep that with you.
Exactly. Just like family values, and then I got the Army values as well, and it just completed me.
It's like a dope combination.
Mm-hmm.
Now in basic training, like they make it like, do you know of people that like fell off, that didn't make it, like at that point? Like is it as hard or harder than it looks on TV, like in movies and shit?
We had a guy commit suicide.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Like in that fucking metal jacket thing?
Not with a rifle, but we weren't allowed to have our rifles with us.
Oh, I want to ask you that too. Hold on. No, go ahead. Keep talking. I don't want to forget.
One of the kids, he went downstairs and it was laundry night, and he decided to go do laundry, and he never came back up. What he did was the next morning they found him like hung with his bed sheet.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
How far into basic training?
Yeah, we had a couple of months there. We had 4 or 5 months.
Oh, really? I thought the whole thing was 3 months.
No. So in the infantry schoolhouse, so basic training is about 6 months, and then you have 3 months depending on your job title. But if you're infantry, it's basic training the whole thing. So because you're basically learning how to shoot and how to do all this stuff. Everybody else, they learn how to shoot and all that stuff, and then they stop, and then they learn their actual jobs. Like if you're gonna be a cook, you learn how to cook.
Yeah.
If you're gonna be a mechanic, you learn how to be a mechanic for like 3 months.
Okay.
Infantry is the whole way.
So the guy that committed suicide, you know him or?
He was in another company, but he was in another platoon. I'm sorry, another platoon. There's 4 platoons to a company.
I was gonna actually break that down.
And I was in one platoon. The kid who committed suicide.
So 4 platoons to one company.
Mm-hmm.
How many people were soldiers in a platoon?
About 30.
So 30, 60,
30, 40 around there. To a platoon, 30.
And how many companies in, like, what's the
4
thing about
companies to a battalion. Battalion, there's about 3 battalions to a brigade. And then like how many brigades to a division.
Damn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Guys
it's a lot of shitload of motherfuckers.
But so he was in the same company, different platoon.
Different platoon, yes.
And are you guys like roommates, kind of? Like each platoon is in.
Damn, I think we can compare it to college dorms, where it's there's 2 floors, right? On this side is company 1, platoon, first platoon, second platoon, third platoon, fourth platoon.
Okay.
It's literally a hallway, so we always see each other.
Gotcha.
And so whenever we're gonna do work exercise or we're gonna go eat and stuff like
You
that.
guys share like the same kitchen or like lunchroom or whatever?
Yeah, the lunchroom.
Mess hall? Is that the
we call it
proper
the chow hall.
Nice. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. And how was that? Like, how was like everybody's energy like once you guys found out?
It was crazy. It was like, damn, life. I mean, it's like, again, my outlook and that was like, there's always something. This couldn't have been the worst thing in your life. Like, come on, really? Like,
Yeah. Because to you, it was like you were like. It seems to me like you took it in like the positive way. Like you signed up for this, you wanted this, you were like happy that it like met your. You probably would have been disappointed if you went on and everybody was like, "Hey, hi, how you doing? Let me show you to your room." You probably would have been like, "Oh fuck, it's not like I thought." But this guy probably thought it was gonna be I don't want to speak for him or speak ill of him or whatever, but he probably like had like the opposite view. Like he thought it was gonna be like an easier ride. Oh yeah, I'll go do some exercise and get out or something.
I think that the most the shell shock of most people is like getting your liberties taken away from you.
Mm-hmm.
Like
you told when to sleep, when to eat,
when to shit, when to piss,
Damn.
everything. And it's being surrounded with men. It was like being in the infantry, we weren't allowed with females. So you got all that testosterone built up there. And it's like a jailhouse. Like,
yeah,
when the Dressage aren't around, man, like, we're fighting.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
Were there fights? Like in the...
Yeah, I got into 3 fights by myself.
Get
One kid almost got murdered.
Why?
That kid was like... he looked like he probably was like an active shooter a couple of years later. I don't know. He was like that weird, strange kid.
Uh-huh.
And... these
probably a white kid with thick glasses or something.
That's exactly how it was. You met him? And these 4 black kids from Texas, Houston, Texas, they got, they were really cool with each other. They just didn't like this kid. And one night, they held him down with a blanket, and the other 2, they put a pillow over his head. Every night, we always have a fire guard. So basically, one person stays up, make sure nobody does crazy stuff, like commit murder. And basically, you do that for an hour, and you wake up the next guy, and there's always somebody up.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for that fire guard, that kid would have been done.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's...
And it's crazy because, like, I'm not, like... It's a crazy story, but at the same time, I'm not surprised because you got a bunch of 18-year-old kids, full testosterone, technically freedom for the first time from, like, what they know from being at home under their parents' like, guard or whatever. Or, guardians and shit. And having this, like, structure and system, like, imposed on them, like, shoved down their throats, like... There's gonna be like kind of like resistance to that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And people are gonna like wall out in different ways and fuck around. Like
it's crazy, especially like I remember one of my first fights. It was because this awesome kid, man. He was a black kid from Indiana. And you know how we grew up saying nigga, whatever, but my nigga, whatever. And I kept on saying that, and he's like, "Stop saying that." And I'm like, "I don't mean it like that way." Yeah. And I'm like, and he's just
it's
like,
not the ER, it's the A.
Exactly. Please get it right.
I'm from Queens and Brooklyn.
And you don't understand. I don't mean it.
And I'm Dominican. I'm not white.
Exactly.
I know I'm white. I'm light skinned with green eyes.
Look at the name tag.
Yeah.
And that's what we started fighting for that. But yeah, it's the first exposure to the outside world. You don't know how small New York is until you like leave it.
Yeah.
I've never met somebody from Texas, guys talking from like with that accent and shit, and
that southern twang.
Yeah, it was like crazy. I'm like literally looking at them like, "Yo, can you just please talk again?" Yeah. And they're making fun of me because I have an accent, and I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
Yeah.
And it's just like that shell shock. It's just like, "Oh shit, I'm not at home anymore."
Yeah,
I'm meeting all these people from different eras, and during the day they're teaching us how to kill and shoot and.
That I wanted to ask you about that. What was the first time that you got a gun? Like you're in the army, you get your room and shit like that. I guess every day, like you said, it's like exercises and like they start showing you structure. Like when's the first time do you guys like get a gun?
I would say probably like within month 2, because that first month you're basically learning how to be a soldier, basically. Folding your clothes,
doing your bed every morning,
doing your beds, drilling basically how to walk in formation and doing all those steps,
like the left,
exactly,
left, right,
cadences. And you're doing all that stuff, and then they break it down. One section would be how to shoot your rifle, another one would be how to deploy the hand grenades, another would be how to use your night vision devices, and so on and so forth, and stuff like that. So, it was good. That was the first. Like I used to always look at the schedule, like when are we gonna shoot? When are we gonna shoot? When are we gonna shoot?
I would imagine that everybody's like excited for like that day because like, I've been to a shooting range twice, I think, and it's dope. Like shooting guns and stuff like that. It's like a cool, like fun thing to do. Mm-hmm. When you're not,
it's a very
like a mass shooter or something. Yeah, definitely. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, whenever you wanna, me and wifey over here, we got a tradition. We have a range that you could be a civilian and we could take you out there. So
you serious? Like the ones I went to in Pennsylvania.
It's in Jersey City. So
Oh, really?
Right off the Jersey.
I'm so down. Next time you guys go, let me know.
And what we do is I'll show. You can rent the Tommy gun, the Desert Eagle.
What?
All this shit. It's called Guns for Hire. And the last time we went was I took Zadie and Eshrin and Masi, and we shot all day. And then at the end of the day, we do a competition, couple versus couple. So
Nice.
another champion, by the way.
That's awesome. I'm definitely not to do that. What I shot was like I think a 45 and whatever, like the smaller
9mm.
Yeah,
Probably.
there you go. Yeah. All right. So you're in boot camp for 9 months. So you're in Fort Benning
8 months.
8 months in Fort Benning, right? And then at what point do you know? And how does it work to like where you're gonna be stationed? Because like Steven was in Fort Bragg, in North Carolina, but he went to boot camp. I don't remember where he went to boot camp.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
I think in Texas or somewhere like in the Midwest
Probably
or something like
Oklahoma.
that. And yeah, at what point do you know that you're gonna go from Fort Benning and you're gonna be stationed in Watertown?
Right there in Fort Hamilton. When you sign your contract, like I would like this duty station.
You ask where you want,
I want in New York.
and they get like they give you everybody what they want, right?
Nah, most of the
They
time
can't,
no, yeah. Like everybody wants to go to Italy, and those things are hard to get.
Like we can't do that, but we can put you here, here,
Yeah.
here. Pick
Once
one.
I said New York, they're like, "Oh hell yes, yes."
There's like 3 people up there.
It's like Fort Drum is
guarding the Canadian border.
Fort Drum is like the black hole of the army.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to be. It's so cold up there that the Alaskan troops go there for cold weather training.
Get the fuck out.
And then a lot of people, they see New York, so they're like, "Oh my god, I could go to New York City."
Yeah.
You know, and stuff like that.
They don't realize
It's
how big New York
7.5 hours away from the city, the
That's
tip of the
sick.
city. You're closer to Canada. I'm literally 30 minutes from the Canada.
I remember when you got out of the army. We'll fast forward a bit, and then we'll go back. We drove up. Me, Vicente, which is your brother, Steven, and Ariel, that I named Rap Sheet when we got to the border. We drove up to Watertown, where you were stationed when you were getting out the army, being discharged, honorably discharged, right? And which is pretty much, let's say you're done, you served your time in the army, that's it, you're out, you're a free man. Then we had the idea of crossing over to Canada and spending like the weekend there or whatever. And it was that was an awesome trip, yo. That was my second favorite trip of all time. And my first one was when I went to Costa Rica, actually, with my brother and his best friend Omar. That you met Omar when we went to Florida for Steven's bachelor party. The first one. And
Oh man.
but yeah, that was like such a fun trip. And then Ariel, we were at the border, and Canada has some strict ass laws with if you have like a outstanding
misdemeanor.
parking ticket or some shit, you can't get into Canada. Which kind of makes sense why everybody there is like super nice, and it's kind of also it ties into Costa Rica too, because it's a neutral country. They don't have like any armed forces or anything, and I feel like that trickles down to like their population, because everybody's like super chill, nice, no hay malicia, like in the street and stuff like that. Like I'm sure there's still like some crime or whatever, but it's like negligible.
Yeah.
And in Canada, everybody was like nice and cool, and we had like awesome time. You know what I mean? But Ariel, I don't know what he had, but we started calling him Rap Sheet because they wouldn't let him in to Canada. And then
he had a couple of misdemeanors, but in Canada, those are felonies.
yeah. So we were like, bueno, Ariel. We drove 8 hours to come get Ari. We're gonna cross over to Canada.
We're not lawyers.
We're gonna cross over to Canada. You could chill here in Watertown in the local motel that we were staying at, and we'll be back to pick you up on the way back. Oh man, good times, yo.
Definitely.
But right, so going back to Fort Benning in Georgia, right? So you spent your 8 months there, and how was it like when or what was the hardest part of like the whole thing? Or something that you're like, damn, that was rough for like.
I think the hardest part for me, I mean, after the culture shock, I think the most physical hardest thing is the final event, which is we call it the bayonet. It's basically you stay in the field, which the field is like outside in the woods and all that stuff, and you do all these training exercises and stuff and like scenarios. and war gaming. You do that for a couple of days, and then you have to walk back to your barracks, which is about 25 miles.
Damn.
Yeah, with all the gear on top of you and stuff like that. And
how heavy is the gear? Is that like the backpack with all the guns and all that shit?
Yeah, that's what everything. I would say
helmet.
like 50, 60 pounds.
Shit.
Not bad. I was so pumped and hyped.
That you made it to the end.
So we're walking back home and we're done. And then at the mile 20, I literally started like hallucinating.
You serious?
Like I literally.
Is it with no water or something, or it was just like?
It was just exhaustion. And my feet are like pancakes, and like I literally felt like I was seeing ghosts next to me, and I'm like, hey,
damn,
talking stuff. Like
and
that.
Are you completed by yourself, or is it like a group?
No, the whole group.
Okay.
You literally go to our infantry hills and stuff like that, and that's when they give you your blue cord, and you're like, yo, you made it, you're infantry.
Damn.
Now, like you could drink a grog, which is basically, I mean, it's supposed to be alcohol, like a bunch of mixture of alcohol, but in boot camp they don't do that. They just put like some green Chemlite and like fog machines and like, yo, drink this. It's basically Kool-Aid, but it's a nice ceremony.
That's awesome, man. It must be like a proud moment.
Yes. It's like, yo, I'm finally fucking.
I'm in.
Exactly, I'm a fucking warrior now.
Let me ask you a quick question. When you guys are going through that like 25-mile walk back to the barracks, is it like who's in charge of you guys? Is it like the drill sergeant?
Yeah, the drill sergeants are always there with us.
And is he like walking side by side, or he has like a car like driving next to you guys?
No, they lead by example.
Damn.
So yeah, they're walking with us.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. So they do this every 4 times a year.
That's sick.
So they do rotate out and stuff, but still it's still. Drill sergeant is not an easy gig, man, and much respect for those guys.
And those are like badass dudes, because they set the foundation for everything.
Exactly.
Like if they fuck up there, like they're planting like a fucked up seed, kind of, you know what I mean? And then you're gonna turn into that like trickles up.
And it's a very stressful job, man. Like we've seen drill sergeants like screaming at their spouses and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because it's a stressful job. Like I'm an instructor now, and it's like a.
Like you can't. It's not the type of job that you could just leave there and then come home and then you kind of like carry it with you. It's a lot of
long hours. It's a lot of hours that people don't see on the screen. It's a lot of prepping, and then you have to deal with these dumb privates, and like they're like, oh my god, it's like basically teaching a kid how to walk and all that stuff, and then you're doing that over and over and over and over and over.
And I imagine now with like more like entitled like kind of kids with like all the millennials. Even though we're technically, I think we're millennials. Stop like year wise.
No, we're fucking Generation X.
Yeah, but we have
Z, whatever it is.
I see myself, and obviously I'm biased, but even if I'm like technically a millennial, like I side more with like the generation before us, because like my brother's 5 years older than me. I'm the youngest of like all my cousins and stuff like that. And I always like grew up around like older people and was more influenced by them. Like my first job in a restaurant bar, which I'm still friends with them now, at this Portuguese spot. Like those were older guys. I was like 16 years old bartending, and there's a bunch of like 20, 30-year-old fucking men drinking, smoking, fucking doing coke like at the end of the bar, like, you know.
Exactly. But the millennials is our fault, because
yeah.
I mean, it's not their fault. We're raising them to be weak. So the 50-year-olds, the 40-year-olds, those are the ones that are in fault of what we're raising now.
True.
They're fucking.
We're definitely partly to blame.
Exactly. Like our parents. Come on.
Like you know what it is. Like we I feel like
we got beat hard, and we don't want to do that.
And we wanted like the whole like Danny Tanner, Full House like type of how can I like that, mom and dad. So we went like generation wise, like we went too much to the left, and then like too soft, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
But there's like a good like in between, like somewhere there, which I think our generation technically is, because we have like both sides of it.
Meanwhile, you have all these countries fucking just breeding fucking warriors.
Yeah.
At the age of
Drago.
4. Exactly.
Fucking Ivan Dragos.
I mean, one of these days, man, it's gonna come up and it's gonna bite us in the ass.
Fuck, man.
It's gonna bite us in the ass. You train a killer from a young age, and so don't fucking hesitate. Meanwhile, we can find a guy to put a fucking luggage in the overhead compartment without
complaining.
Exactly. So
what the fuck, man?
I have a stressed peacock. He's my thunder buddy.
So tell me, how different was when you went to, what was it in Watertown? What was that called?
Fort Drum.
Fort Drum. Fort Drum from, like, how was your life in Fort Drum versus how it was in Fort Benning?
So like I stated, I got to basic training August 30th. September 11th happened right after.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, that happened while you guys were in basic training.
Mm-hmm. And they basically said, if you're from Fort Drum, Fort Bragg, Fort Benning, there's a 97% chance you're going to get deployed within the first 6 months. And when that date happened, like, again, once you're in boot camp, you're restricted from, like, using the phone.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, we didn't have internet back then. We had crappy ass internet, but
It was
mostly
like
the phone.
Dial up all types.
Exactly. But that day they let all New Yorkers, guys from PA and Washington, call home, and we couldn't talk home. We couldn't call until like that night because all the lines were down. Over there.
True. I remember.
And I remember I called, and my mom picked up, and she was like, not my mom, my father's sister, which was in my mom's house at the time. My mom was so distraught. She picked up and she was like, but you're not going to get deployed, right? You're too young. You're a baby. Meanwhile, or they already had told me, like, yeah.
Yeah, nigga.
I was like, nah, probably not. Most likely not. And so once I got to Fort Drum, I got there in a winter storm. And these guys were coming back from Bosnia. So I basically got to almost an empty base. Like, it was... they're gonna be returning within 2 days and stuff. And it's funny, like I got there on a Thursday, and they're like, "Yeah, these guys are not coming back till like Monday, so you're basically off." So I literally took a bus right back to New York that night. I was like, "Yo, I'm going back to the city."
Damn, nice.
And I ain't gonna lie, man, I was fucking nervous and stuff like that.
Yeah. Cualquiera, imagínate. Going to war.
Fucking, exactly, right off the fucking jump.
And you knew once you got there, within 6 months I'm out.
Yeah. They got back from Bosnia. They let them refit for like about a month. And
what is that refit?
Basically, just relax. You go on vacation and come back and then just get back into shape and stuff. I get right back in the cycle. And then as soon as they got back, we started training. And we got ready for to go to Afghanistan.
How intense was the training versus basic training, like boot camp?
It was more focused. So we weren't training on like going into trenches and stuff. I was mostly like cave fighting and like learning their culture and learning their religion and learning some key words and
of where you're going in Afghanistan.
Yeah, and.
How's the like combat skills training, like jiu-jitsu? I know you know jiu-jitsu. You actually gave me a crash course lesson once, I remember.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's the army version of combatives. We call it army combatives. It's basically a stew pot of bunch of disciplines and stuff, which is like jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, boxing, Greco-Roman, wrestling, and a bunch of other stuff, sambo.
Is there like a hierarchy to like a belt system to it, a structure, or
we
is it
do
just
levels? There's a level 1 through 4, and
what are you 18?
I'm a 4. No, I'm a 4.
Nice.
Yeah. And you just teach them like different. It's called basic. Now it's called the basic combative skills techniques. Then level 2 is tactical. And the third one is I forgot that one. And then the fourth one is like the master combative trainer. So I basically could produce fireballs
and lasers through your eyes. Like.
Yeah, you just teach more techniques and stuff, like more repetitive stuff out.
So, how was it when you were deploying for the first time? You went twice, right? Yes. To Afghanistan?
I went to Afghanistan once and Iraq once.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was Afghanistan twice.
I literally did the cardinal sin, which was I got married basically 2 weeks before I got deployed with my high school sweetheart, not some random chick that I met.
I was at that wedding and I actually have a picture of you, me, and Steven. You were in your green army uniform. Damn. Yeah. I didn't know that was like 2 weeks before you left.
Yeah.
Wow. That's sick.
Yep. It was like 2 weeks prior to leaving. It's funny because as soon as I returned back to my base after my wedding, they're like, any fucking idiots got fucking married this weekend?
You raise your hand. But there's like a practical reason to that, right? Because you were with your girlfriend that long, and like if God forbid something would happen to you, like she gets like broken off by the army or something.
Yeah, like being in those situations, like your life. You feel like your life is like it's coming to an end. Not that you're like terminal, but like at any moment,
like it could definitely happen.
So you want to like hit those like life goals as fast as you can, which is sometimes it's smart, sometimes not. No. And yeah, I did that. I didn't freeze my sperm. She was dying for me to do it.
Really? Yeah, I didn't know they did that shit back then. Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah, so I got back. I left her back in New York, and we deployed to Afghanistan.
How was that? How was that trip? That's in one of those army planes, right? Or is it?
Yes. So you take a commercial. Well, you take an army plane to. It was different because when I went to Afghanistan, it was like an army plane basically all the way through. So we landed in Germany, got refitted, refueled, and then we landed to Afghanistan.
Closer.
Then we got to Afghanistan. Iraq was different. We took like a commercial flight to Germany, then another commercial flight to Turkey, and then we went to a military plane to Kuwait, and then Kuwait to Iraq.
Damn. How long was the trip to Afghanistan?
17 hours, I believe.
Wow. So when you land over there, is it like directly in the army base?
Yes, yeah. They don't drop you off like in the middle of the tarmac.
Like, oh, call Uber.
Exactly. No, we confiscated a tarmac out there in Kuwait, in Kandahar, and
damn, that's gangster. So the army was like, esto de nosotros from now on.
Yeah,
now we're gonna be here.
There was like bullet holes and shattered windows everywhere, and then there's like a little American flag there, like just waving around. Yeah, so we got there.
How much of a culture shock? Like
as soon as those doors opened, I felt like
sand everywhere.
I was in an oven.
Damn.
It was like a jet engine in my face, 900,000 degrees, and I couldn't breathe. I got like literally like
a sauna type shit.
Yeah, it was really bad. And then we had to get our briefing. They sent us to this nice hot tent, and they gave us hot water. And that's when you're like, yo.
Sorry, I didn't want tea.
Yeah, I was like, yo, I'm expecting a tea bag. No, a tea bag for this hot water. And they basically tell us, all right, this is what you're responsible for.
How many of you guys went in that trip?
The whole battalion. Damn. No, the whole brigade.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then from there you get separated to wherever area of the country you're responsible for.
And do you stay with your same group?
Yes, for the most part.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And
battalion.
Your battalion.
Which is 4 companies.
Yeah.
Which is 4 platoons each company. Nice. Remember that.
Test me, quiz me at the end. So how was that? Like, what do you do when you're over there? Like, what? How do you? In what I imagine is like a sick structure, but like a crazy, it's war, a crazy environment. Like, how do you like normalize that for yourself? How do you create like some sort of routine, or do you even? Like, what's your day like?
They live in biblical times, so you basically just embrace the suck. And we were living in a 10-man tent, 30 guys in there, in a fucking small little cot. It's fucking hot as balls. There's no AC, just smelling ass and dick all day.
Damn.
And basically like, yo, we're gonna be doing this. Get your shit ready. Let's do it. And it just that becomes the norm. I don't even know how to explain it. It's just
human beings are weird because like no matter what environment you put someone in, you get used to it, right? Like I don't know if it's like psychological games that you play with yourself to just make shit around you normal, but we like assimilate to stuff. Like we have that
definitely
like ability, I guess, if you want to call it that. Like, are you guys like walking through towns, like looking for shit? Are you like on missions? Are you just like making a presence there, or is it like
in Afghanistan? There was only 2 paved roads at the time.
Damn.
One went north and south, the other one east and west. So if you weren't on there, which most likely wasn't because it was always booby trapped with bombs or IEDs, we would get Chinooks, which is like air support and airlifted, and these biggest helicopters, and they'll drop us off in a little area, and from there we walk.
And do you guys like rappel down, like from the helicopters?
We've done it before, yes. Damn. But for the most part, we'll land in a nice LZ and landing zone. And from there, we'll walk like they wouldn't drop us. If I wanted to get to this house, they wouldn't drop me in the corner. They would probably drop me off in Brooklyn. I'm like, all right, start walking to Queens.
Damn.
And then, yeah, just for our safety and stuff like that.
And you guys are just like what's the point? Like, what's the mission? Like,
the mission's always dictated. I mean, it was always different.
Go to this house, look for this person, or go to this house, try to retrieve XYZ, or
yeah, like prevent the Taliban from doing this, taking over this village. Do a lot of security for the imams and the village elders.
The imams are like the religious,
yeah, like the
folks,
priests for us and stuff like that. They have a lot of power, and they're like our political heads out here. Also, the village elders as well.
And was there, like, do you like get to know, like, are you like on the same area the whole time, and you get to know like the vecina that lives in this house there, or little kids?
In Afghanistan, no. In Afghanistan, definitely not. It was very premature when we got there, so it wasn't like nothing was like set in stone or established. So
everything was still being figured out.
We would get intel like, oh, we got bad guys in this area. All right, let's take a flight, land over here, clear it out. Show these guys, the locals there, that the area is safe. Oh, there's bad guys on this side. All right, take a flight, go over there.
And you could just go like with guns, walking around, like looking for bad guys,
Yeah,
or
pretty
just
much.
like scoping out the area type shit.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Did you ever get into like gunfights and stuff like that?
Yes.
Yeah, like often, like.
It wasn't like in the movies where you get in a fucking firefight every fucking day. It's not like that.
No.
No.
Do you remember the first one?
Yes, you never forget your first. It's like
I can imagine. It's like popping a cherry.
Exactly.
Like
we were in a mission and we're walking like by the mountaintops and stuff like that, and before we went to Afghanistan, like our command sergeant major, which is our head sergeant of our thing, he forced us to like carry 200 pounds in our buck bags and our rucksacks, and like just get our cardio up and like walking up down hills, whatever. And
because Afghanistan is all hills, mountains.
yeah, the altitude is ridiculous out there too. Just to get us ready for these things to like walk, right? So we're in Afghanistan and we're walking. All of a sudden you hear like one pop shot, two pop shots. I'm like, oh shit, we're in contact. Troops in contact. And it was like these three guys on top of a fucking hilltop, or kind of far away.
You guys saw them right away, or somebody like scoped them out? Or?
Yeah, well, they're like our lead element. They were like, oh shit, fucking there's three guys with heavy machine guns. And I'm like, I'm in the middle of the pack, so I'm like about 300 meters away. And I'm seeing people falling. So in my head, I'm like, these motherfuckers are dying.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm getting closer. We're all fucking running here. We're fucking shooting, moving, trying to get up too close to these guys. But these guys were so high up.
I imagine the adrenaline at that point.
The best way I can explain it is if does anybody by surprise push you into a pool or the water? It's basically like you fall into a big, like you're underwater. You're
unexpectedly.
Nervous, exactly. You're nervous and everything slows down.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Like
I know
you can literally hear your heart beat.
Yeah.
And I think that's when your fight, flight, or response kicks in. Like you don't know who you are until shit
you're confronted with that shit.
Exactly. Like you could talk all the shit you want in your life, but until you get punched in the face, everybody has a plan, right? Until you get punched in the face. Mike Tyson.
Yeah, man.
That is so true. And I remember always told that to myself, like, I hope I'm not a pussy, man. I hope.
Yeah. When shit hits the fan.
And I was fucking shitless. I was scared. But like everything slowed down.
How could you not be? But
exactly, right? I'm seeing all these people falling down. All my fucking comrades and fucking they're falling down, and I'm like in my head.
So you're seeing your guys falling down?
Yes. Fucking.
Oh shit! I thought you meant like the guys that were on top of the hill or whatever.
Down, and these guys are trying to get up, and they're fucking falling.
Oh shit!
So that's fucking up.
So you're like they're getting hit by the bullets and they're like dying, literally in front of you.
We're fucking running, and we can't reach them.
Are you guys shooting up though?
Yeah,
like everybody's just like shooting
rocks and stuff like that. It turned out that these guys were falling out from the altitude.
Just like slipping?
No, they were just falling out.
Oh, the air? Like
Yes,
how thin the air was?
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
A couple of guys got shot. They got hurt, but nothing major, thank God.
Nobody died.
But you don't know that at the time. I
Yeah.
would say it was like this. But we started thinking. I had the fucking radio on my back. And my commander comes and he's like, yo, call fucking air support. Close air support. And he's giving me the grid, and I'm fucking calling it in, and fucking boom, giving the grid. Fucking all of a sudden you see.
What does that give me the grid? Like the coordinates?
Yeah, coordinates.
And how do you learn how to use that shit? The
In
radio.
boot camp, you learn that stuff, and then back at the thing, you train everything over and over and over. Everything is a cycle.
Gotcha.
So you just keep proficient.
Like reinforcing everything over and over.
Yep. And we called in air support, and fucking we dropped a couple of bombs on top of that hilltop, and the firefight stopped for a little bit.
How soon after the air support come in?
Oh, they got there quick, about 7 minutes.
Damn.
We got there and stuff. Fucking, again, it was kind of high, so we saw that it was for a bunch of rubble. We sent a couple of guys to go over there to check it out, make sure they were all dead. And mind you, I have the radio at the time, and I have my antenna. You know, in every movie, you always want to go for the guy with the antenna.
Yeah. So you can't communicate with nobody else.
And all of a sudden, we look there. Like,
Basically had a
oh
big
shit!
target
There's
on your
another
back.
one up there. There's another one up there. No shit. There's another fucking guy taking. I don't know who he was aiming at, but in my mind, he's like, he's fucking aiming at me.
He has you in his crosshairs. Like.
Yeah, he was alive, but luckily we sent another unit and they fucking take him out. And
Damn.
like I said, we just took a couple of casualties there, but like nothing severe, thank God. They were all passing out. That's what it was. That's where they were falling.
It must have
out.
been a combination between the thin air, the adrenaline, just like holy shit moment.
Yes.
It was like
I said,
all
it's
that
like
together.
fall in the pool one of these days.
Nah, I'll take your word for it. I'll just re-listen to this. My hands are sweating right now listening to this fucking story.
And it's that fear, and fucking everything slows down, and it's just like in the movie, like the fuck Saving Private Ryan and that beach thing when everybody's that's exactly. For me, that's what it was.
Yeah.
I've seen grown men fucking bitch out, and I've seen grown men freeze. So, like, it's you don't know what you are until you're put in that situation. I guarantee you something. God forbid your family is put into danger. You're a very fucking humble, nice man, but I guarantee you, there's another side of you that will come out if that were to be presented. You know what I mean? You never know what you're capable until
you confronted with the situation. That's intense, man. And like how freaking was like shit like that happening versus whatever was the quote unquote
average
routine
on it. I would say every 3 days.
Wow.
Every 3 days, and then sometimes it'll be every day. Then sometimes it'll be nothing for a whole week.
Did you get a Purple Heart in the Army? Like you got hit?
I did not. No, thank God.
Did you? How is it like? Like, do you guys have bathrooms and stuff? Just like regular shit, like taking a shit,
It's
taking
called
a piss.
the wood line.
Is it? Well, how is that?
All right, you see how we have grass over here?
Uh huh.
You go back there, you put your pants down, you take a shit, you can bury it, or you just leave it there and just fucking keep it moving.
Damn.
There's no bathrooms out there. What the fuck?
Fuck.
What is this fucking Candyland?
Oh man, how was it? Damn, and like no TVs, no. Wow. Fuck. So you shit in the woods, and how about the like showering and stuff like that?
Oh yeah, so they have like the.
Is it like those outdoor
washing-
showers?
Yeah, like washing stations and stuff like that. And then you actually smell worse coming out than you did coming in.
Because the water's like.
Like I literally built like a psoriasis type thing from using that water.
Fuck.
Yeah, well, you have to psychologically.
Adapt.
Exactly. Like I usually, the longest record was I had lasted 30 days without showering.
Damn.
Just baby wipes. Like my uniform was so bad that it could stand on itself. The pants. It was bad.
That's sick.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Fuck, man. How about that shit? Like to wash clothes and stuff like that.
When we came back, we had like a little company there that would actually do it for us and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
But we used the locals to do it for us.
Gotcha. That's intense, man. And were the nights really cold?
It was cold because in the daytime it's 112 and at night it's 60. So yeah, it's
Like relatively speaking,
yeah.
it's cold. So how long did you spend in Afghanistan the first time?
12 months.
12, a whole year.
Yeah.
The first time you were there. Shit.
Mm-hmm.
And then how was it? Is it different for everybody? Like some people go for less time, some people go for more.
Yeah, like for the most part, Marines, they'll go for like 4 to 6 months. That's why they'll be like, I have 53 fucking deployments. No, Army guy would be like, I have 2.
But for 53 years, 25 years each, like a Diablo.
Like Iraq, I was there for 15 months.
I want to get to Iraq, but before, so you were there for a full year. Was there like a more intense like gunfight from? Obviously, you told me about the first one. Was there anything like where you saw people die, if you don't mind me asking,
Yes.
or like people that you were with?
Yes, you do. Unfortunately, one of the things of combat is that you see things that you only see on TV, and it's either you or them. So yeah, you see some things like that.
Fuck. So you were there for a year, and how was it when you flew back the first time?
When I flew back, it was a culture shock. It was my deployment was supposed to be 8 months, and
Why did it get extended?
when we were supposed to do our last mission, like this mission was in Bagram. It was crazy. It was like the border of Pakistan, and it was gonna be like the big hoorah. Like nobody's been there since 1920, whatever. Like whatever. It was a long fucking. We were there for 3 months, like for 2 months. No, for a month. I'm sorry. And we were like, fuck it. This is our last mission. We have to come back to Kandahar. We're done. We do our mission. We had satellite phones, and I called home, and my ex-wife was like, "Why are you so happy?" I'm like, "Because I'm going home." Why aren't you happy?
Yeah.
She's like, "They didn't tell you." I was like, "Tell us what?" So in the military, they have this thing called the Family Readiness Group. So basically, the wives, they stay together and they keep connected. And for some way, somehow, it got leaked. Then we were getting extended for another 3 months.
Oh, shit.
And they didn't tell us. They didn't tell us at all until
you came back from that quote-unquote last mission.
Yeah. So when I got home, I was like, I didn't believe anything until I fucking saw fucking American soil. And I was like, I'm leaving now. Now they had a nice ceremony. They had everybody, all the family members in the base gym, McGrath gym, and we walked in there, did a nice ceremony.
In Watertown?
In Watertown,
Okay.
inside the base of Fort Drum, yeah. It was a huge ass fucking thing.
So all your family was already there when you flew back?
Yeah, well, at the time it was only my ex-wife and her cousin.
Okay.
Which it was cool. I didn't.
Like you weren't expecting anybody, so
No.
just seeing them must have been like...
And it was awesome, man. Like, you know, as soon as we got released, they ran up to my arms, whatever, and it was like, fuck, this is fucking so good. Damn. I'm never deploying again. I'm never leaving.
Like, I made it. I'm alive. I fucking did my time in the army. Went to war when I didn't even expect to go to war.
Exactly. This is for $600 a year, fucking financial aid. And yeah, it was fucking. It's amazing. I mean, the things you lose, the time you lose. I remember when I came back, all the girls wearing those pointy ass stilettos.
Yeah, the shoes.
What
Why?
the fuck are you wearing that?
Yeah.
What is that?
I've always hated those things.
It's like, oh no, these aren't styles. Like, you look like you're about to attack me.
Like, you don't have to be down with every style. By the way.
Yeah. I remember I went home that night and I just watched commercials. I watched TV.
Just like see where the world was type shit, right?
It was amazing. I felt like a fucking inmate that just got released after 25 years.
Wow.
It's crazy. Like, you just, like, you appreciate everything. You see how you live here and compared to how they live over there. And your life has a different meaning. It's like you appreciate it a lot.
I imagine you gain like a perspective that you can't get otherwise.
Yeah.
Except for like going through that type of experience.
Mm-hmm.
And how long after you came back, like the guys that came back from Bosnia, they had like a month off. Did you
Like
got time off?
Months. Yeah, no, they gave us like a month, and we went on vacation right away. And
by off means you could do whatever the fuck you want.
yeah, you go home and fucking spend time with your family and
Nice. What
Get
did you do
fat.
at that time?
oh, had a lot of sex,
Nice.
lots and lots of it. I just enjoyed the fight. I was dying to come back home to New York City and just see my mom and my brother and everybody of my family and stuff. I just appreciate life, just enjoy everything, and I was fucking like a kid in a candy store.
Yeah. Then you had to go back to Watertown eventually a month later, right?
Yeah.
And how long after that did you have to go to Iraq?
The next year. And the funny thing was that, if I can, they basically, no, so I spent a year back, and they basically, they're like, I remember it was for Christmas. Every Christmas they let us, they call it Exodus. They give you a whole month off. You have to come back to like January, the second week of January. And they're like, yeah, if you're not out of the army by May of that next year, you're getting what they call stop loss. I was getting out August of that year. It's like, but it's December. How do you like? What do you mean I can get out? They're like, yeah, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. So when I came home that month, I was like, yeah, I remember telling my ex-wife, and I was like, yeah, looks like I'm gonna get deployed.
What does that mean? The stop loss that you're staying?
You can't, even though you did your contract, they can hold you.
For how long?
As long as the mission is done. They actually made a movie out of it. It's called Stop Loss, literally.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh shit! I gotta check that out.
It's not that good, I think.
Oh, okay. What was it? What is your favorite army movie, or like military, like combat, like movie?
Obviously, Saving Private Ryan is one of my favorites. Men of Valor. Like the army movies are actually, the military movies are getting more realistic.
Gotcha. That was gonna be my next question. Like how?
It's actually
which
using
ones,
like real soldiers that actually been out there that
like consulting on the movies and shit.
Exactly.
Nice. If anybody's a movie producer out there that hears this, reach out and I'll put you in touch with Avi for some consulting work. If you want the authentic, the realness.
Yeah. So like a lot of these movies, they're really good and stuff out. Because the biggest critiques out there are veterans. Whenever they see like Commando or fucking The Predator, like that's not real. That's bullshit. Grenades don't do that. Like seeing Scarface now when he used that fucking 203 is like, come on, man.
That was that grenade launcher gun? Okay.
It doesn't do that.
And how come he's waving it around like a 22? What was I gonna say? So you hear that news that you're not getting out in August, potentially. Like you got that stop loss shit, and they told you then that you're gonna be deployed.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, we don't know when, but if you're not getting out of the army by May, you're getting deployed.
What? Before I ask you about Iraq, during that year between Afghanistan and Iraq, like what do you do? Because you're not in basic training.
You're training.
Just like nonstop training around the clock. Like that's
training.
your job, like to train,
Yes.
like to be a soldier, be ready. Gotcha,
Shooting.
Okay. So you wake up, go
Exercise.
shoot, train, whatever's on the schedule for that day.
No, we do cycles. So you have like a schedule, a monthly schedule, whatever, and like, yeah, okay. At the end of these 3 months, you need to be proficient in these tasks. By the end of these 3 months, you gotta be proficient in all these tasks. And then by that time you think the year's up, like you're ready to go.
And do you pick what you do on which days?
No.
Do you have like any freedom at all? Like on Wednesday?
No, because you got to coordinate and stuff like that. These are the higher ups. I mean, I was a private or a sergeant at the time. I'm basically told to like, yo, make sure you're right. You guys are ready for this and that. You could do what we call hip pocket training and stuff like that, and you can make you guys more proficient on that and stuff like CQC and stuff like that.
What is that, secrecy?
Close quarter combat, like enter into.
Like fights and shit?
Yeah, like, coming into a room and fucking shooting, clean the rooms, and like, damn.
How many people did you kill?
No, but you just always you just keep training and stuff. Like I said, it takes hours and hours and repetition. So you want to have a flawless team when you go out there.
So the people watching your back.
Mm-hmm.
Are you allowed to speak about that? Like, if you ever killed somebody, like stuff like that, or do you want to?
I mean,
if you don't want to, it's fine.
And has it been done? Yes. Something that you're proud of? No. I mean, it's It's not like, I got 47 kills.
Yeah.
A lot of times, like, fucking a lot of people are shooting and you don't know who actually is bullet.
Like, who was the kill shot?
Exactly.
Like, everybody's just like,
There's some ones that are that was me. And the way I got over it and I deal with it is just, it's either you or me. And
definitely don't want it to be me.
Exactly. Because then Abigail wouldn't be with us today.
Very true.
And
Aiden, my son Aiden's future wife here right there.
I will kill you. I still have skills.
You will be 48. Oh my god. Fuck. Do you think there's like PTSD kind of that comes with that? Like with all the shit that you went through, I would imagine that you bring like the type of experiences that like you've spoken about that you've gone through are stuff that stays with you. I would imagine with any human being.
If you notice, I've been saying my ex-wife, and it's not like she caught me cheating or I caught her cheating and that. So when I went to Afghanistan, I fucking missed her like crazy, and she was on my mind constantly. But when I went to Iraq, I went as a supervisor, as a sergeant, and the day we left to go to Iraq, their families all came up to me and they're like, "Please bring my husband home." And I literally became like a robot. And I was like, all right, my sole dedication is to make sure these guys come home. And I basically forgot that I was married. I forgot that I had a family. Like, I'll call home once a month and stuff like that. And I literally was like a robot. I didn't know I was able to doing that. And I actually did it. I never thought about home or anything like that. So
you just completely focused, conditioned, like, into like the mission at hand, like what's in front of you and what you have to do.
And the guy that you see all the time, Shoestack, he was one of my guys and stuff like that. So like I don't regret what I did, but when I came back, I never knew how to turn it back off.
Gotcha.
And, I was a totally different person when I came back. I don't like saying PTSD because a lot of people take that as an advantage and they fucking try to scam the system and they're pieces of shit for doing so.
There's always going to be people like that try to take advantage of shit.
Yeah. I just like to say I came back different. I'm not the same person when I went and when I came back. I'm not going to say it's PTSD and stuff like that.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No.
Was one deployment more impactful than the other one, like Afghanistan versus Iraq, or?
Well, Afghanistan broke my cherry.
True.
But Iraq was more intimate.
All right, so tell me about Iraq now. Like, how was it different when Iraq, like, compare Iraq to Afghanistan?
Well, Afghanistan is all mountains and open terrain and mostly caves and stuff like that. And so
Iraq was more modernized?
It's a little bit, it's definitely more modernized and more urban. You literally actually go in house to house. Afghanistan had like mud houses, literally houses made out of mud. So they literally fucking pick at the wall and break in.
Damn.
As I was saying, they literally lived in biblical times.
That's insane. Was the threat and stuff more imminent in Iraq versus Afghanistan, or about the same, or?
If you look at the pattern, whenever one country is like really popping, the other one is kind of low, and then whenever that one is low, this one is popping. And I just got lucky that they were popping on both times. So,
fuck.
They were more advanced, obviously, when I went to Iraq. And then the one.
So like their military, like people that you were.
There wasn't no military. It was also like fucking terrorists. Like fucking. There wasn't like
militia groups.
Army against us.
It was like militia groups, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Like pockets
there was no
of
uniforms. Yeah.
Fuck. And that's hard too, right? Because you're on alert for like regular civilians in the street. Like you never know who could be who.
Yeah, even the police or the National Army or nobody's your friend.
Did you have like gunfights in Iraq?
Yes.
Do you remember the first one there?
My first one there, yes. We were in a market, and we over there we did more presence patrols. So we'd
like
go
one of
out
those
there.
like outdoor markets,
Yeah.
like that sell like different things, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And we'll go there and just show our presence and stuff like that. We're heavily armed and stuff, and this kid came up to us. He had like Down syndrome, and he had a grenade, and he fucking threw it in our group. Luckily, it was a dud. But once they saw that it didn't go off, they just started shooting at us and stuff like that. And we took the kid in, took everybody out, and we questioned him. He had no idea what the hell was going on. It was just like he thought it was a toy, and someone told me,
like they manipulated him
Yeah.
to like use him against you guys.
Yeah, so
Wow.
we got some intel from him and his father, and we found, who was the culprits for that.
That's intense. And was the routine in Iraq similar to Afghanistan? Like you guys were in a tent again, shit outside in the bushes?
No, in Iraq they were more updated. So we were like 2 men to a Connex.
To a what?
To a Connex. So it's basically the size of this right here.
Okay.
Me and you would be living here. Stuff. I had an AC.
Nice.
So it was fucking awesome. But then we would go to forward operating bases, which was basically we'll leave that big fucking thing, go to another place in the country, and build our own base from there.
What do you mean build it?
We would literally build it.
Like you guys?
Sandbags.
Like the soldier guys?
No, we had like engineers. Or we would just fucking take this piece of land and be like, all right, put a truck here, make sure nobody goes up that block, another truck here, and then fucking... But once we become a forward operating base, yeah, we'd usually... We would take like an abandoned building or abandoned complex and reinforce it with sandbags and stuff like that, and we would live in those things.
How long does it take to do like shit like that? Like is that a mission like for the week? Like right, for this week
Yeah.
we gotta... Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, that's sick. That's so crazy. It's so like chess, like the strategy to it. Like build up this, we move up like 40 clicks this way or whatever, then we fucking...
Mm-hmm.
That's fucking cool, yo.
Yeah, man. It's crazy. Like that's why most of these generals are always reading Sun Tzu, they're playing The Art of War, and they're playing chess. It's basically what it is. It's just battle. There's literally, when you become like at that rank,
Like strategies to war.
It's called battle gaming, battle staff.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, you're playing fucking chess or Risk.
Yeah.
Remember Risk?
Yeah.
You're playing that in a fucking big computer.
I have Risk. I fucking love Risk.
I love fucking Risk. I
Yo,
will beat you to death.
If you have anybody, I haven't played that game literally, I want to say in probably almost 10 years. But I have the board game.
We may not be friends after that.
If you like have like 2 or 3 other people that would be down, but like I have nobody that's like down to play that anymore. It's people that I like used to chill with back in the day.
Buy it for myself, but like I'm like it's just gonna collect dust because they're gonna be like.
To get a good game, you need at least I would say 5 people.
Yes.
4 you could pull it off, like you could play a game, but 5 people is a
I
dope
remember
game.
me and my buddies, we played that in my house when I was in the base, and we played for about a week straight.
Damn.
Like, they literally come to my house every Saturday, and we'll be there all fucking day, like our football Sundays now.
Yeah.
And then their wives will be like, "Yo, you gotta fucking come home." All right, take pictures of the fucking board game.
Don't touch it. Don't move any of the pieces.
And it was nasty. It got nasty.
Damn. Yeah, I was so down to play. I wonder if Steven ever played that shit.
He would be fucking cheating motherfucker.
What? Those pieces were there.
I have 47 guys there.
Why do you have 3 tanks in your pocket? Like, they're not even the same color. Is that from a different fucking board?
You have Monopoly. Get the car from Monopoly.
Why do you have hotels? Like, they're barracks. Like, no, nigga.
No.
Like,
It is not an option.
fuck. So, how long did you spend in Iraq?
15 months.
Months? Fuck. So you went way past August, like when you were supposed to get out of the army?
Yes. I came back the following November.
When we picked you up in Watertown, that was November.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
I remember it was cold.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cookies.
Damn, remember that in the mall? Oh man.
Nope.
Do you remember where the whole chocolate face? I was thinking about this too the other day. Do you remember where that came from?
From Borat.
Yeah, from the movie.
Yeah, from Borat.
It's a real life chocolate face. Abby cariñosamente calls me chocolate face from that movie. What we were in Canada, I think we went to the movies. That's when Borat came out.
Yeah, because I'm explaining to you guys that like this is not New York City. We can't be start getting ready at 12 o'clock at midnight and fucking be like, yo, we're gonna go partying. I'm like, yo,
Yeah, everything.
we need to be at the place that we want to be at by 10 p.m.
The latest.
The latest.
If we want to enjoy the half hour before they close. Like.
And Tony comes in with fucking a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle t-shirt. He's like, I'm ready to go. Like, no, you're not. No, you are not. These are not fucking. This is not a third world country.
Fuck, man.
Oh man, then we went to movie theaters. We went to a mall, and I'm like, yo, focus. Go get your fucking outfit. And fucking, as soon as we walk in, they had like a cookie stand. As soon as you open the door, and he's like, oh, look at cookies.
I was in the middle of like, he was still in army mode, like mapping out the mission. All right, so we're going to hit this store. Then we go to that one. That one's going to have the belt. This one's going to have the, and I'm like, I turned to my left, like, cookies. And I started like veering off the path. Like, this motherfucker just got killed by IUD. Like,
Yes.
damn. Yeah, so 15 months. Did you know that you were going for that amount of time? Like when you went?
I thought it was for a year, and then it just kept on going. It just kept on going and going. I don't know what day was it, what.
Wow.
But the good thing was that once, if you're in a country for like, they sent me home for 2 weeks. And that was the quickest 2 months of my life.
Yeah.
I kept on
2
pushing
weeks or 2 months?
2 weeks.
Okay.
I remember I pushed it back as far as I can. I came back in July. They were like, yo, if you don't take it now, you're not taking it at all. So I was like, fuck.
So you flew from Iraq back to Watertown?
To Atlanta. And then Atlanta, that's when your day starts. But for some reason, the lady there, she was like, I'm going to give you 24 hours.
Nice.
I was like, thank you so much. I'm going to start your leave tomorrow at this time. I was like, all right, good.
Nice.
And then I got landed in JFK. My cousin Ariel, I'll never forget that she showed up. And,
Shout out to Rap Sheet.
Yeah. It was hilarious because when you deploy, they like bring a set of civilian clothes. And so I bring the most bummiest shit. I had like a windbreaker and a fucking ripped t-shirt. And he was like, yo, dude, you're not going to visit your mom like that. We're going to the mall.
Nice.
And it's funny because he had his baby seat and he had a keg of Brugal. And the biggest styrofoam cup with ice in it. I was like, yo, this is for you. I was like, thank God.
Yeah, well, that's perfect, man. That's Ariel looking out right there.
Exactly. He took me to Queens Mall. We went to Express. We went to Louis Vuitton and all these other fucking stores.
Nice.
And he embarrassed the shit out of me. He was like, I need 5 girls on this guy right now. All right, this is a war hero. I need you guys to dress him. And they're like, oh my God, thank you for the service. And yeah, so I got nice. And then I remember from there we went to go visit my mom. She was a home attendant, and she did bypass while I was gone.
You serious?
Yeah, so I have never seen her. You
Wow.
know, she was always chubby.
Yeah. That's when like she lost a lot of weight.
So it was my first time seeing her, and I felt like I like literally fell in love with her when I saw her.
Yeah.
She was so beautiful.
Wow.
When I saw her. And I remember I gave her a hug and kiss, and she cried like crazy. And the old lady that she was taking care of, she was like, go home, I got this from here.
Oh, that's awesome.
And she came home with us, and it was fucking amazing. The quickest 2 months of my life, weeks of my life. I've never experienced something so fast.
That's insane, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome, though. That's like a memory like you always keep like forever.
No,
You could always be.
never forget that day.
Damn. That's dope.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna say that makes all the other shit worth it, kind of, but that moment like wouldn't have been like so impactful if you wouldn't have gone through all the like shit that you went through. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then so it's July. You had to go back to Iraq for another what, like 5-6 months?
3 months, yeah, something around that.
Okay.
And
did any other like crazy shit happen while you were over there?
I'll say one story because this is one that like it bothers me like crazy.
Hold the mic close.
So like remember I was telling you like everybody talks shit and like shit is real until shit is the fan. So my direct supervisor ahead of me. He was acting as the platoon sergeant, so he was a squad leader at the time.
What is that, squad leader?
You're in charge of 8 men.
Okay.
I was a team leader. I'm in charge of 3 men, plus me is 4. He has 2 teams. Becomes a squad.
Gotcha. Okay. Is it the smallest denomination? Is it the team?
Yeah.
It's for 4 people. Gotcha.
And then you got the buddy team, which is me and you, 2 guys, whatever. But
Okay.
technically, yeah.
Oh, I remember that. Steven tried to get
battle buddy.
Steven tried to get me to join up in the army by telling me that we would be buddies. So we would literally be in the same
Battle
bunk
buddy,
bed.
yeah.
Same, like
That's
the entire
bullshit.
time
That
we'd
was
be
all
holding hands
bullshit.
the entire time.
That
That's
was
what he told me.
That was 100% bullshit.
Damn.
That never happens.
Oh, man.
So we're in Iraq and stuff like that. And our platoon sergeant, which is in charge of 4 squads. So you got 4 squad leaders.
Mm-hmm.
It's really like 3 squads and then a weapon squad. But anyway, I digress. He was on vacation. It was his turn to take vacation. So my squad leader was the acting platoon sergeant.
Which he wasn't really. He was just there just because the other guy was on vacation.
Exactly. So our mission that day was we had to block a highway or a road. So we had 2 trucks on one end blocking that side, and then 2 miles down the road we had 2 other trucks blocking that end, so nobody could go there. We got there like around 6 o'clock in the morning. And we're there, and like everything else, complacency hits.
And what's the point of that? Do you guys even know the point of that, or are you just told to do that? But you figure so they can't
were doing
transport shit.
some key leadership thing. We're just preventing people from going in. Like, rumor had it that they were trying to. It was like a supply route for the enemies.
Oh, okay.
So we were blocking there. So 7 o'clock we get there in the morning.
So just trucks parked there, dudes with guns, just chilling,
blocking. Nobody could come through. And 7 o'clock, we're all fucking. 8 o'clock, we're all fucking high speed. 9, 10 o'clock, we're all good.
in the morning or night.
In the morning.
Uh-huh.
10 o'clock, we're still good. 11 o'clock, we start playing with little community dogs. 1 o'clock, we start throwing rocks at the dogs. We get complacent. And I want to say like around 3 or 4 o'clock. I would say it was literally from where you're parked across the street.
Yeah.
We're here. We'll say we're in the backyard.
Mm-hmm.
And someone with an RPG rocket propelled grenade shoots a rocket to our vehicle.
Fuck.
You can hear boom. I'm like, holy shit. And I'm on this side of the truck. So I'm like,
so the RPG passes by you.
yeah, I'm between the RPG and the truck. So I fucking get on the ground. I fucking go whole ass towards the back. I'm screaming to the guy, to my squad leader, hey, call it in. We need reinforcements. Because as soon as they shot the thing, they start shooting AK-47s and they start shooting. Boom, we start getting into a firefight. Right there and then.
That's like their shit, right? AK-47s?
Yeah.
That they had like from the Russian, like old Russian AK-47s or something like that?
No shit, this guy. All I hear is clink, clink, clink. Combat locks his door. And his gunner is like, fucking move, call it in. And
so he locked himself in the car?
And he just stood there.
In the truck?
He just froze like a bitch.
Wow.
So I saw that.
Fuck.
And I'm like, all right, I got to take over. We maneuvered. We took out the first 2 guys. One guy fucking escaped towards the nearby village or like little town. And we fucking started clearing and detaining people. All of a sudden, like,
do you guys chase them or you just like...
Yeah, we chased them. We got in the truck. Well, our driver and the gunner stood, and he fucking started driving. And we were using that as cover and fuck until we got to the village, and we just started using the building as cover and stuff like that, and just start looking for this other guy.
Shit.
And then all of a sudden, once fucking that guy was down, and everything's good, this motherfucker comes out. Yeah, I want all the guys on this side. I want all the fucking thing on this side.
Like, nobody's listening to you anymore.
I'm like, shut the fuck up. Get the fuck back to your truck. And my lieutenant was there. And he's always known me to be very fucking
like level-headed and stuff.
It's like, you're being an insubordinate. What the fuck is wrong with you? He has no idea what was going on.
Yeah.
He was like, Gonzo, get the fuck out of here. Go fucking smoke a cigarette. Get the fuck. I'm going to talk to you later.
They called you Gonzo?
Yeah, Gonzo.
Really? Why?
Yeah.
Like, where did that come from?
Gonzalez. They love calling me Gonzo. And I'm I'm like, I'm gonna fucking kill you myself. I'm gonna fucking kill you myself. The fuck out of my face. So everything happens, whatever. And we get all the reinforcements. Everything's taken care of, and then he briefs me, and he was like, "What the fuck happened? What the fuck was that?" I was like, and I told him that this motherfucker left us out to die, basically. And
it's true. Like his life was like in you guys' hands, and him not reacting, him freezing. Like literally, your lives were in his hands.
That gunner, his gunner, had to literally leave his gun, which is the most casualty-producing weapon. You know, he has a fucking 7.62 machine gun.
That's the gun like on top of the cars and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
He had to leave his gun so he can get on the radio and fucking call for backup to get back out. And then he had to tell the driver, "Yo, follow these guys so we go put some protection on these guys." Meanwhile, he was just like, and later that night we go back to our base. He comes to my room and he's like, "Can I talk to you?" And I was like, "What the fuck you gotta say to me?" He's like, "I'm sorry, man. I froze, and you know I have a baby at home." And I was like, "So does everybody else in your squad." I'm like, "I'm the only one like doesn't only have a wife, and that's about it. But everybody else here has kids. You fucking selfish bastard." I was like, "Your squad is my squad now," and that's literally what happened.
Wow.
Like he lost all respect. Like nobody ever followed him again and stuff like that. And it's funny because I'm his friend on Facebook, and like now he's like a first sergeant, and he's like fucking Ranger tab, and he's like and he's high speed. But like I said, like he'll never forget that point, and like he knows that there's guys out there that know what type of guy he is.
Yeah.
And
like what shit is the fan?
Something he has to live with for his rest of his life. And
when he looks in the mirror, type shit.
Yeah, like you're a fucking piece of shit. That was one thing, like this. That's when I got into fighting. That was one of the tactics that I used. Is like I can see when you're a fucking bitch.
Yeah.
Like I can read body language.
You like sniff that out.
Yeah, like yeah, you're a pussy. Get the fuck out of my face. So
damn, that sucks too. Because I would imagine like situations like that are kind of like necessary to like weed people out, kind of. You know what I mean? Like he. Like you said, like what, like people like stop following him and stuff like that. Like he didn't have like the rank or the pull or whatever that he had before. So that situation kind of like deters him from being in charge of like too many people, because he himself like pieced himself out from that position, kind of, you know.
I mean, for that deployment, but now he's like I said, he's a real high ranking now because nobody knows him. Where he's at, but then in the military, like it's a very small world. And you always get to bump into the people, and I'm like, "Motherfucker, I know you."
Yeah. Didn't you leave me out to die 1 second?
Yeah, you a pussy. But damn, like I said, there's nothing wrong with being feared. Like it's what you do with that fear. Like anybody who tells you that, "Yo, I'm not scared of nothing," man, they're fucking bullshit. Yeah. They've either never been in that situation or they're fucking straight lying.
Sociopaths,
exactly,
or lying. Yeah, true.
Exactly. So
you could take it, channel it, and like aim that fear towards fucking.
Yeah. I mean, it's good to freeze. A lot of people freeze.
Yeah. Because you have to think, maybe.
You can't just freeze and just stay
like
there.
Indefinitely just freeze.
Like you see these active shooter movie videos, like I think it was somewhere in France. It was like right after an active shooter. A generator blew up. And like the camera on the streets caught the area where fucking like a couple of blocks where it happened. So you boom, and you see grown men just lying on the floor and playing dead. Like, dude, is that your defense mechanism to fucking play dead? Like, where does that reach, dude? Like, come on, man. I don't know.
What would you do in a situation like that?
Like
look for the threat. Like if you just hear some shit, you don't know what's happening, but you know something. You hear like gunshots.
No, you always have to go to safety. Do I have my family with me? I'm always carrying. So, yes.
Oh yeah, true. Now that's a whole nother thing. Like, not you're a cop. You're still, like you said, you're in the army, like as a instructor. Is it? My bad.
It depends, man. I'm not a hero. I'm not gonna fucking try to save the world.
But like, any tips for like people out there, like,
if you're with your family, their safety is your number one priority. Don't be a fucking hero. Call police. Don't fucking put it on fucking World Star and record it. get into safety and fucking run away from the gunfire. But you have to call and try to give as much information as possible. Like, hey, guy with a gun, and give him fucking good fucking description. Like, the other day we were looking for this fucking Puerto Rican guy with long hair, chin thing, fucking EDP suicidal.
What is that, EDP?
Emotionally disturbed person. The guy was a Guyanese guy, fucking clean cut with glasses.
Hey, Diablo.
Totally off, man. Totally fucking off. We spent like an hour looking for this motherfucker. So give
based
clear,
on the
concise fucking description,
yeah.
Direction of travel, where he was going, and that's it. That's kind of easy.
And let them give them like that one solid breadcrumb so he can get to the next solid breadcrumb.
Don't play dead. Don't play that. Doesn't work. I don't know. I think only sheep do that, right? They just fucking faint. That's their defense mechanism.
Or like ostriches stick their head in the sand. Like, I don't see you, so that means you can't see me.
Yeah, come on, man. That's just ridiculous. Just basically saying, yo, please kill me.
Yeah. Yeah, true.
But if I can do something about it, of course. That's always my number one
like instinct,
natural reaction. Yeah, instinct is to fucking go towards. If I'm by myself, yes, I'm not even thinking about it twice. I'm gonna call it in because law enforcement is the local agencies. They're there.
They're trained for that reason,
and that's their jurisdiction. Fucking.
True.
I don't want by me going in civilian clothes. I'm only causing more of a hazard because they don't know who the fuck I am.
True. Yeah. They don't know if you're a threat, if you're on their side. The
I'm like, hold on, I'm a cop.
It's not like the movies.
No. So basically, I mean, if I'm close enough to make a difference, yeah, of course I'm gonna take him out, and I'm not gonna fucking stay there and while you stab me to death. No, that's never gonna happen. So when you're always chilling, you can always know that I will always fucking try to fight him.
Yes.
Take him out.
So I'll take the pictures.
World star.
What was I gonna ask you? So, how long have you been a cop now?
Over 6 years.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a minute. How well of a background was like the whole army thing to becoming a cop? Like, is it like like to somebody from the outside looking in, it's like, oh, he was in the army, so of course he could do a cop job. Like,
pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no. Let me get this bit. In the army, being an infantry in the army, it's like breaking eggs with a fucking sledgehammer. Being a cop is like making an omelet. I don't know. This is a bad analogy. It basically, do I have I have the discipline? I follow rules. Law enforcement is nothing more than a paramilitary of the city, state, whatever it is. So it's basically has the same structure. You have your sergeants, you have your fucking captains, your lieutenants,
and you know how to work well within a structured system.
Exactly. Yes. So yeah, erase that whole analogy I said prior. But the reason why I brought that up is that I'm in the counterterrorism unit now, and sometimes I train these guys and stuff like that, and I show them some of my tactics that I learned in the military, and they're like, "No, you can't do that. No, you would get sued and fired immediately." So that's what I meant, like in the
it's
military.
like the Wild Wild West, kind of in the military.
Like, no, here you get sued. So that's I guess I was like jumping ahead.
I got you. I get it though. It's like more political here, kind of.
Yes, definitely. Especially now, man, being a law enforcement officer is not the cool thing to have.
No.
Being a criminal is better. You have more rights.
And how is your, like, you still do army training stuff, right?
Yes.
What is it, like the reserves?
The Army National Guard.
The Army National Guard?
New York Army National Guard, yeah. So every state has a National Guard.
And is it Army affiliated, or is it, do they have like Marine National Guard or whatever?
I don't know.
Okay.
I really don't know. I'm pretty sure they do, but I don't want to be saying yeah it is. I really don't know. I'm pretty sure they have something.
You know, actually, I actually recorded a podcast about this. Alexander Hamilton, the play Hamilton, which is dope. And Hamilton actually started the National Guard and the New York Post, and he's responsible for the current monetary system of the United States, like the financial system, like having a central bank and like all that shit. Like, he did so much shit, and I learned from him, like, from watching the play. Then I started like reading like a little bit about him online. Alexander Hamilton. He's on the $10 bill. Like,
the actual.
Yeah.
I'm thinking this guy. Fucking,
No.
I'm like, I want to look him up. I want to see his
He was like George Washington's right-hand man when he was like the first president.
Yes. I'm thinking this like somebody current. I'm sorry.
So it's pretty sick.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do in the National Guard stuff?
So I'm an instructor in the infantry schoolhouse. So basically, we teach everything from the infantry tactics. We teach air assault. That's basically rappelling from helicopters or from walls and cliffs and stuff like that. And I do the combatives, what we were talking about earlier, which is hand-to-hand stuff like that. So
how does that like jive like with the cop job, like being a cop?
it's horrible.
Do you have to like take a day off from being a cop and then go do the army thing, or do they understand? Do they work with you?
Yeah, we don't. A lot of agencies, they get to what they call double dip, which is basically you can get paid from both employments. And Port Authority is not like that. So you get paid from both employments, and then they take away the least amount. So let's say I make $200 in the Port Authority, I make $100 in the Army. Port Authority will take back $100.
Gotcha. They'll like match whatever the lower one is.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And then sometimes I'm only allotted a certain amount of days a year, and because I'm an instructor, I do more days in a specific or random National Guard the guy does, and so I use vacation days, my own time and stuff. I have to do that.
And why do you do that? Do you feel like sense of duty type of thing to do that, or like why don't you just like be out and just do cop stuff?
Well, I mean, to be honest, the pension system, it's once you pass the 10-year mark, that's when you really make the decision, should I stay, should I not? I already had a couple of years of active duty, and had 6 years of active duty, and, I was like, I did my 4 years, I was ready to 10 years, I was like, you know what, I can do this. And then I became an instructor, and I literally love training soldiers. And
that's awesome.
Because I see guys all the time out of nowhere, like, hey, man, you're that guy that punched me in the fucking face. I fucking love you, man. And like, you taught me how to do this and that, and it's awesome. Like, it's like you're implanting little seeds and stuff like that. And like, it all goes back to that drill sergeant that we spoke earlier. It's like, if that guy's a piece of shit, like, that's what the bad seed impression you're gonna give. So,
true.
I have pride in that and stuff like that in the classes I teach, and like, I teach everybody with respect. I'm not that guy who's fucking.
Yeah.
I'm the guy who whispers in your ear. I'm like, I'm gonna kill you. If you don't do what I say, I'm gonna kill you.
Think about me when you go to sleep at night.
like I said, I always like to. I want you to get better. I don't want you to fear me or respect me. I want you to just be a better person, a better soldier. Because if you're a better soldier, I'm old already, man. You're the young buck. You're gonna be the one fighting the next war.
True.
I want you to be a fucking man, not a fucking.
You don't want them to be that guy that freezes up in the fucking car and locks his door.
Exactly.
And says, esto no es conmigo.
Exactly. So, and like, just like everything else, time changes, your tactics change, and
you evolve, you grow.
Exactly. You have to be able to connect with every type of personality that there is out there. Some people you can fucking chew their ass off all day, and they'll get better off it. Some guy, you raise your voice and then he'll fucking shut you off. Yeah. So I like that challenge.
Yeah, it's true. It's like it's interesting that you see it like as a challenge, because like certain people, you have to like figure people out like psychologically, kind of, and like this person reacts more like if you're a dick. This person reacts more if you kill him with kindness. This guy wants to like impress you and make you proud. This guy wants to show you that he's a badass, right? You have to like read people like differently.
Like I'm the worst at receiving compliments.
Yeah.
Like when soldiers like, yo, you're one of the best instructors I've ever had in my life. I'm like, yo, get the fuck out of my face.
Stop being pussy.
God damn it. But if I feel good inside, I just don't know how to reciprocate it. I feel fucking uncomfortable.
Damn. Yeah, I can imagine.
I work too, so they're like, yo, dude, you're fucking awesome, man. I'm like, shut the fuck up, man. Go suck a dick or something.
You know how I know you're gay?
Exactly. I'm the worst at receiving compliments. I hate it.
I think what I've heard from like advice that I've heard given to people that have said like similar things, like keep it simple. Like, okay, thank you, man. I appreciate it. I'm glad you got that. I'm glad you got that takeaway. Thanks, I appreciate it. Thank you. Like shit like that.
I remember one time fucking had this Puerto Rican kid in the National Guard, and he was my support, and he was from the Bronx, so his kid's just mad gully. He's like ghetto as hell.
Mad-hood.
So National Guard is like part-time soldiers, basically.
Yeah.
So they're mostly civilians, but they have.
Was that 2 weekends a month?
Yeah, 2 weeks,
2 weeks
a year, 1 week in a month, stuff like that. So I had him supporting me for one of my courses that I taught, and he was a squared away soldier, very nice, fucking very disciplined, but he had the ghetto-ness in him.
Yeah,
I could sense that. It's cool, but like he was very professional, stuff like that. There was this other kid. He was also from the Bronx. This guy had no discipline. So he was like taking the initiative and like squaring him away and fucking. They like arguing. He's like, "Why you such a piece of shit?" Blah, 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 blah. And the reason why was because we were doing explosives breaching, like with the C4, and we use dead cords, like how to explode a door and make entry.
Mm.
So I'm teaching that class,
like how to put together the explosive type shit. Damn.
And I'm getting evaluated by like we call it TRADOC. That's like the big dogs of like the Department of Defense, making sure that we know what the fuck we're doing, and we're fucking every 2-3 years we get evaluated.
Damn.
So fucking like the horse and pony show is out there. Fucking we gotta be fucking.
Everybody's on point.
All of a sudden,
it's like when the principal goes to sit inside the classroom and the teacher's like, "Hey."
So all of a sudden we hear a fucking boom from the ammo shack where we keep all our fucking explosives. I'm like, at the time I was briefing the guys, this is how I run my range, this is how we do our thing, this is my math, this is how we do how much TNT we're gonna use for each thing, blah blah blah. Boom! I'm like, are we gonna go to code status? Be right back. I fucking haul ass back there. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? The fucking guy who didn't have any discipline. We have MREs. Steven ever gave you an MRE?
No.
It's called the meals ready to eat. In that bag, it's a little heater there that once you add water, it heats up, and that's how you heat your food. But if you enclose that with the whole bag in the stove, it's like when you put alka-seltz on a Pepsi can or a bottle, whatever, it blows up.
Start like bubbling up and boom.
So this motherfucker thought it would be a bright idea to make an explosion in a fucking breaching explosive class. So that's why they were arguing. Right?
Oh my god.
So I got on these motherfuckers' asses, squared away. I explained to the guys what this was happening, whatever. And they're like, all right, continue on, we understand. Day is done. I come back. And that kid who was very fucking disciplined, he was like, I'm so sorry, I fucked up. Because all they saw was two guys fighting.
Mm-hmm.
They heard an explosion and then two guys are fighting. And they're like, man, you're a fucking good soldier, man. You're fucking young, you're hungry, stuff like that. But when you do stuff like this, it's like, you could be a mountain climber. You could climb 100 mountains. But when you suck one dick, they're gonna call you a dick sucker for life. They're not gonna call you a mountain climber. And I said it in a kind of joking way, but he was like, Sarge,
I got it.
Oh my God. You're right. I don't want to be a dick sucker for life.
I want to climb those mountains.
I want to be known as a mountain climber.
Wow.
I was like, wow, this guy's going to always remember me for that. Always.
Damn.
And his tombstone is going to say,
I'm not a dick sucker.
I'm a mountain climber, bitch.
Oh, man.
So, yeah, like stuff like that. Like, you get all these soldiers that they're young and they're impressionable and they're hungry.
Different walks of life and
Exactly.
stuff.
So that's why I like being an instructor.
That's awesome, man. Howie, I appreciate you doing the podcast, man. Do you have anything else you want to say? Anything else you want to add?
Nah, man. No. Till next time. Thank you for having me.
Definitely, man. I appreciate it. You have an open invitation to come back.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
How dope was that episode, folks? I hope you guys appreciated it as much as I did. In listening back to it, I remembered while recording, and I had it like on the tip of my brain to mention it, but I forgot. When we were speaking about movies that are like Army movies that are fairly like realistic and that Abby likes and stuff like that, I was going to mention there was actually a movie when I was younger, and probably like the only time in my life that I thought of and considered, if you even want to call it that, joining like the Army or something. It was because of this movie, and it definitely wasn't one of these dope, heroic war movies like Hacksaw Ridge or something like that. It was Renaissance Man with Danny DeVito. And the whole movie was pretty much about basic training. And Danny DeVito is like a part-time, like civilian teacher of this dysfunctional group of privates that are pretty much like the special ed kids of the army or some shit. And it's kind of like a means to an end for Danny DeVito, teaching the kids, just making some money, and then winds up like falling in love with the kids and really believing in what they're doing, and they become good students. And once that starts clicking, they wind up becoming like good soldiers, etc., etc. And that's the movie that actually made me want to join the army when I was younger for about a week. So I'm definitely grateful for like true soldiers like Abby, who are like really gung-ho about it and passionate about it. How crazy was it too about that kid that hung himself in basic training? Felt bad hearing that, man. It fucking sucks. And I'm sure that's not completely uncommon, And that's just a testament to the type of resolve that our troops have. But yeah, folks, again, I hope you guys appreciated it. Avi, thank you very much once again for doing the episode, and even more so for your service. For myself and the Spun Today listeners, we really appreciate it. And that's it, folks. That is episode 138 of the podcast, the Spun Today podcast to be exact. I'm your host, Tony Ortiz, and I appreciate the fuck out of each and every one of you. Stick around, listen to some tunes, and then listen to a couple more ways you can help support the show if you so choose. Peace.
Something inside me that pulls beneath the surface, consuming, confusing. This lack of self-control I fear is never ending, controlling. I can't seem to find myself again. My walls are closing in.
Not a sense of confidence. I'm convinced that there's just too much pressure to take.
I felt this way before, so insecure. Crawling in my skin.
Hey folks, Tony here, and I hope you're enjoying the show as much as I enjoy putting it together for you. If you'd like to support, I'd really appreciate it, and we'll give you a one-stop shop of sorts on how to do so. If you can make your way over to spuntoday.com/support, you'll find a bunch of different ways where you can do just that. There you'll find an Amazon banner similar to the other banners found throughout my website that you can click on and will take you to Amazon, where you can do your shopping like you normally do. This will not cost you anything extra, and Amazon will pay me a percentage just for driving traffic to their website. It's a great way to help support the show financially without actually having to come out of pocket. At spuntoday.com/support, you'll also find links to my Patreon and Ko-fi pages. Patreon and Ko-fi are two similar websites where you can set up reoccurring donations for the show. If you want to donate $1 per month, $1 per episode, $100 per episode, whatever you like. You can check out either one of those two services there. There's actually also a Patreon video that's kind of like a little tutorial explanation video of how Patreon actually works. Also at spuntoday.com/support, you'll find a direct donation button where you can donate by way of PayPal. You'll find a link to Apple Music, which works similar to the Amazon banner. You can click on it. It'll take you to Apple's website where you can do your purchasing like you normally do. And again, it does not cost you anything extra, but I will get paid a percentage just for driving traffic to their website. And you'll also find links to the Spun Today Viral Style store. This is where you can get Spun Today related merch. And you'll find things like these cool premium t-shirts that have writing related sayings on them that I put together myself. I'm definitely not a clothing designer by any stretch of the imagination, but I put together things that I wanted to see and wear myself. A couple of my favorites are the one that says writing is life, and another one that says write need every day, and it has like a puff of smoke looking design right behind those words. You'll also find a Spun Today coffee mug and a really cool color changing mug that's related to my debut novel Fractal. It's completely black, and when it gets hot, when you put it in coffee or tea, it starts changing to white, and it also exposes the cover art for my novel Fractal. It's pretty dope. So definitely check all that stuff out, which again, you can find by going to spuntoday.com/support. And of course, do not forget to follow me on all of your social media, at Spun Today on Twitter, at Spun Today on Instagram. Subscribe to the Spun Today YouTube channel, where you can find clips and excerpts from the podcast, along with other cool content. Like the Facebook page at facebook.com/Spun Today. Also, don't forget to check out all the free shit that I have on my website as well. Go to spuntoday.com/free writing. And there you're going to find dozens and dozens and dozens of free writing pieces that you can check out for motivation and inspiration and just some general food for thought. You can check out some of my photography at spuntoday.com/photography. Feel free to take any of those pictures and use them as you wish. I set it up so that you can like copy and download the photos. And my short stories are available at spuntoday.com/short stories. And last but certainly not least, my Pride and Joy Corner, spuntoday.com/books. Here you will find my published books, which you fine folks can find links to purchase them on Amazon, whether you want hard copies or digital Kindle copies. That's the spot for you. Thank you very much for being a Spun Today listener, and as always, substitute the mysticism with hard work and start taking steps in the general direction of your dreams. Thanks for listening.